right, so I've been kind of looking at this whole issue of predictive crime analysis and how that would look if our government decided to start using that in our country. And who knows if they already are using it, because would they announce it? Okay, so one thing we can, other than Minority Report, I'm going to say we could probably also compare it to George Orwell's 1984, because he's describing a situation where everyone pretty much is watched 24/7, and they can't do anything. They can't cough, sneeze, breathe, or even think without the government or Big Brother knowing that they did it, right? Now, this whole idea of thought crime. And what he's describing in that book kind of sounds like what they're talking about when it comes to predictive crime analysis. Because if they could see what you're thinking, potentially, right, they could stop what you're doing or what they think you're going to do. And if they could basically predict what you're thinking and what you might do next, then potentially if somebody's going to be a criminal, whether they know it or not, or do something illegal, then the government would know about it first, right? The police would know about it before that person even knew that, they were going to do something, because maybe they weren't even actually thinking about doing something wrong, okay? And one of the ways, if you read about the predictive crime analysis, one of the ways is profiling, because they can profile people based on all these different factors and decide, this is the type of person that we would expect is gonna do this kind of crime. And does that mean that person's gonna exactly do that crime, or does it just mean that they're profiled the same as other people who have done similar crimes? Okay, we wouldn't know in this type of system, because potentially we're talking about the person would be in trouble just because they fit a profile, just because they did something similar to other people in their analysis that have done this, these crimes. Okay, so one issue I'm looking at would be, if they ever use a system like that, how would they enforce it? Because it's not like they could just go up and say, yeah, you're under arrest because we're pretty sure you're going to do this crime someday in the future, because you fit the profile and, you do all these things that are similar to, the AI is telling us that you're a problem or you're going to be a problem, and just arrest them. They can't really do that in our system, because there's supposed to be due process, and it's supposed to be somebody committed a crime before they're in trouble for it. So how would they even use predictive crime analysis other than they would know exact time that something's going to happen and they just arrive to stop it? Okay, so what I'm looking at is, in 1984, in that environment, they all knew that this type of surveillance was happening, right? They all knew they couldn't even think something bad, okay, without they're going to be in trouble for it. But in our environment, we don't necessarily have that. We're not walking on eggshells, right? We just, for years we just have had this thought that we're free, and that we have, we're supposed to have due process. So what would they do to get these people in trouble if they really wanted to, because they thought they were going to be a problem? Well, one thing I could think of is maybe, instead of waiting for them to do something and just watching them really closely till, they're going to do something eventually, maybe they could kind of push them along, right? They know they already fit the profile for that crime, and they're likely to do it, right? If the circumstances are right, then they're likely to do that crime. So what's to stop them from kind of creating those circumstances to maybe push them towards it? And then once they've done it, then they could say, oh yeah, they did this crime, and throw them in jail. Okay, and who's gonna even know that they were behind pushing that person or those people towards doing those crimes, so they could just step in and say, oh yeah, they're doing it. Or if they're in the business of stopping a crime, pushing them towards it, and then right before they're going to do it, they just magically arrive and say, oh yeah, you were intending to do this, and we see all this stuff that proves it, and then arrest them because they were attempted to do something. Okay, so this is another way I feel like this whole pre-crime or predictive policing thing can be abused. And the question I would be asking really would be, what are the statistics for people who fit particular profiles? The statistics of how many of those people are going to do something wrong, and how many of those people are not. And if the authorities or whoever did it didn't kind of push that person along to get them into that situation that they already knew that they were profiled for, and they were very likely to commit that crime, would they have done it? Or would they have just been a regular person and they didn't do anything wrong, and they just fit that profile, and so what, right? Then another thing we might want to look at is, who would they do that to? Would they do that to the 10 out of 10 people who fit a particular profile, every single one? Or would they do it strategically? Like, this person, we don't like them for some reason, or some kind of discrimination, and they're just going to pick that person. So who knows if they're using that kind of technology and profiling and everything right now, but just mentioning deploying something like that using AI, I could see all sorts of abuses coming out of it.